In the heart of the Australian outback, the sun hung high, casting long shadows over the serene waters of the Mary River. It was a pristine landscape, teeming with wildlife, yet it harbored dangers beneath its calm surface. John, an experienced wildlife photographer, had always dreamed of capturing the raw beauty of this region. He packed his gear, eager to explore the river's edges, where he hoped to find crocodiles in their natural habitat. As he set out on his boat, the quiet lapping of water against the hull was soothing. John had a keen sense of adventure, but he respected the wilderness and knew the risks. The river was known for its saltwater crocodiles, some of the largest predators in the world. He remembered the stories of local guides who advised keeping a safe distance, but John's excitement often outpaced his caution. Paddling along, he marveled at the lush greenery and the calls of birds overhead. After a while, he spotted a glimmer in the water. There, basking on a sun-drenched bank, lay a massive crocodile. It was longer than his boat, its scales glistening like polished armor. John's heart raced. This was the moment he'd been waiting for. He quietly maneuvered his boat closer, careful to make as little noise as possible. The crocodile didn't budge, seemingly indifferent to his presence. John raised his camera, framing the beast in his lens. Just as he was about to press the shutter, the creature's head snapped up, its eyes locking onto him. A chill ran down John's spine. He held his breath, reminding himself to stay calm. Suddenly, without warning, the crocodile lunged into the water with terrifying speed. John instinctively pushed back on the oars, feeling the adrenaline spike as he fought the urge to flee. He had heard that crocodiles could be unpredictable, but he'd never imagined it would happen so quickly. As the crocodile submerged, John felt a mix of fear and fascination. He scanned the water, waiting for any sign of the massive creature. Minutes felt like hours. Just when he thought he was in the clear, a massive head broke the surface just a few feet from his boat. The crocodile was circling him, calculating, its powerful body gliding through the water with an elegance that belied its predatory nature. Panic set in. John's mind raced through escape options. He remembered the guide's advice: never turn your back on a crocodile. He steadied himself, aiming the camera, not to capture the moment, but as a desperate attempt to distract himself from the fear gnawing at him. Suddenly, the crocodile lunged, breaking the water's surface with a violent splash. John barely had time to react as the massive jaws snapped inches from the side of his boat. The force rocked him, and he fought to keep his balance. Heart pounding, he realized the crocodile was not just curious, it was asserting dominance, testing the limits of this intruder in its territory. John knew he needed to act fast. He grabbed his paddle, positioning it as a makeshift shield, hoping the crocodile would lose interest. But the reptile was relentless. It circled again, waiting for an opening. John felt the water shift beneath him, the currents shifting as the crocodile dove beneath the surface once more. His instincts kicked in. He knew he had to get away. He started paddling furiously, moving towards a cluster of mangroves lining the riverbank. The crocodile, however, was not done. It surged forward, launching itself from the water, its jaws snapping close enough that John felt the rush of air from its massive jaw. Desperation drove him to push harder. He could see the safety of the mangroves approaching. Just as he thought he might make it, he felt the boat jolt violently as the crocodile struck again. The impact nearly knocked him overboard. Fear surged through him. He knew if he fell in, it would be over. With one last burst of strength, John paddled into the mangroves, the boat scraping against the roots as he maneuvered into the thick vegetation. The crocodile, thwarted, thrashed in the water outside, but it couldn't follow him into the tight confines of the trees. Breathing heavily, John managed to catch his breath, heart still racing. He watched as the crocodile circled the edge of the mangroves, its eyes glinting in the shadows. It eventually retreated, sliding back into the deeper waters, defeated, for now. Realizing the danger he had narrowly escaped, John took a moment to gather himself. He could still hear the sounds of the wilderness around him, a reminder that he was merely a visitor in this wild world. After a while, he cautiously paddled back to safer waters, grateful for the encounter, but acutely aware of how close he had come to disaster. That day, he learned a valuable lesson about respect for nature and its untamed inhabitants. As he returned to shore, John knew he would carry the memory of that crocodile with him, a reminder of the power of nature and the importance of humility in the face of such majestic creatures. The photographs he had taken would tell one story, but the experience of nearly losing everything would forever be etched in his mind.